We've all heard the term work smarter, not harder. And to some people it might sound kind of taboo. And I know back in my when I was younger, I kind of thought that. I'm like, okay, obviously I get it. Yeah, work smarter, not harder. But I was faced with the reality that you had to work hard to obtain what you want. Todd slowly kept getting older and older. And I'm like, if you really look at life, the people who work the hardest are kind of the poorest in a sense. And how this relates to manifestation and getting your desired reality is people think when they hear the term manifestation that you don't work hard, that you just say what you want in your head, talk it, cinnamon, whatever technique you want to do, and then bam, you just wait for it. But there is work involved. It just don't have to be hard work. Now, the work, when it comes to manifestation, is kind of aligned action. And it's to the point to where when you align with the identity and consciousness you want to be, your intuition receives downloads, thoughts, ideas from that state of consciousness that you are. Then from there, you kind of get nudges and inspired action to take certain actions. And then those actions lead to your reality, being revealed to you, I should say. Now, me in my life, especially applying like what I've learned with this consciousness and like inspired action, the work doesn't stop. You still obviously work, but the work is not hard. Sometimes the work you take and the steps you take to get your desired reality, you don't even know you're taking it. It's kind of like being hypnotized in a sense. You know how sometimes when we're going home or we're going somewhere that we used to be in, and we're so in the flow of going there that we don't even realize everything that we passed or encountered on the way there. It's like we're driving, listening to music, we're kind of zoned out, but we still focus on the road. But then you get to your destination and you know how you got there, but you like, damn, like I wasn't really paying attention like I was. That's kind of how it feels when you kind of work smarter and not harder for manifestation. Because you understand that as long as you're in the right state of consciousness, as long as your frequency is right, that every action you take from that identity is the right action. Two people can take the same path with two different mindsets and get two different results. It's no different than how two people can grow up in the same household with an abusive father or alcoholic parents, but they have two different mentalities from the situation, which then cultivates to two different realities in their lives. One person sees it as, okay, I'm gonna follow this. One person sees it like, okay, I see it, but I'm not gonna let it consume me. I'm gonna see this as what not to do. And we're taught that we have to work hard, not realizing that in this game, you make your own rules. And it's shown every day. You see people doing what you're doing, reading how you're reading, don't read how you read, don't think how you think, all experiencing the same things out of life because you make the laws and you make the rules of your own world. But abiding by them and not being scared of the quote unquote limitations that you portray is the key. Now, if you think you have to work hard, you have to work hard. But as I said earlier, like the people who work the hardest in the world are the poorest. But it's not about working hard because you're not working hard to obtain something when it comes to manifestation. You're just doing the work that's aligned with the identity who that reality belongs to. Hard work is like you're trying to do something to get something. And that makes it even harder. When you're trying to chase something and sometimes it's running away from you, that makes you exert more energy than you have to do. But on the flip side, manifestation, the actions that you're taking are just aligned action to get the reality that you want that already exists. You're basically going to the end and you're trying to see something that already is existing because if you can think it, then it exists for you to experience. So basically what you're doing is catching up to the reality to where that desired reality already exists. So the actions that you're taking isn't going to feel exhausting because it just feels like it's aligned. It's an action that had to happen or would have happened to experience this reality rather than you doing action to try to get something and then it might not pan out. And I've been there. I've worked hard, especially seeing my parents work hard. I've always worked hard. And it was hot and cold. I'll see ups and downs in my business. I'll see up and downs in my life. I see up and downs when it comes to fitness, whatever the case may be. Because me working hard, even though I was seeing results, I was mentally drained, which then led me to being physically drained. especially on the fact that I thought that I was mentally drained. But now just take into the account of like how you create your reality and then putting yourself in the end, because everything already exists right now. Whether you see it or not, it already exists. And when I took that new action, the action I was taking, the work I was doing, it wasn't hard because it felt like natural steps and progression to be the man that I am today and to be the man who sees other realities that I want to desire. So manifestation doesn't mean that you just don't work at all. Because if you think about it, even somebody who wants to play the lottery and win money from the lottery, a lot of people might be thinking that you have to work hard to make $1 million. But somebody who wins the lottery is still taking action. You still have to play the lottery. You can't win the lottery without playing it. So that's more how the action is. The action doesn't have to be hard. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be strenuous. It doesn't have to exert all the energy out your body to then see little to no results. When you take into action, you understand that every move I do from this state of consciousness is the right move. Because when that's where it's aligned at. It's your state of consciousness. It's what you're thinking, what you're aware of, it's your identity. Because your identity receives the information to do certain things. So if you're in an identity or state to where you have to work hard, if you're in an identity or state that you're chasing something, trying to get something, it's going to align the perfect action, but it's going to make you feel like you're exerting more energy than you should be doing to get the desired reality that you want. And you may get it, and it's not going to last long. Or you just may not get it. So, yes, manifestation is about working smarter, not harder. But that doesn't mean that the work isn't exempt or is exempt.